I definitely think that we carry a bit of the like the teams of the past definitely with us, because of course that's like part of our slogan is to defend the tradition, to honor those who have been here before us.
Tradition is the biggest part of Davis High football.
Such a big deal to me, you know. I go out on the field, I get the chills every time I walk on it. Like, you can almost feel the people who have been there before. Like my father, he played football here, and I feel the blood, sweat, and tears that went into that field, and you can feel it.
We all should be playing the best we can because they did a long time before us.
Playing on the same field as them, it's quite an honor. I mean, it's just such a cool, deep-run tradition that we're always trying to defend the tradition, and always trying to live up to that standard.
This is much more than just a football team. I watched players since I was 6 years old. Every Friday I would watch those players that grew up with my sisters, that they went to school with, and I knew them personally, and I knew how much they enjoyed and loved playing at Davis. And I felt a great responsibility and excitement to follow their shoes and play as well as they did, and mean as much to the community as they did.
Being able to run out on the field, being able to put on the brown and gold. I was watching Davis High football when I was just 3 years old. My dad would always take me to the game. I remember watching them come out on the field and they'd play when the Darts came marching in, and just watching great players play at that high school. I mean, it was something that every young boy wanted to do. They wanted to be that, what they seen on the field. And I hope, it's my hope that I did something well enough, and somebody else seen that they wanted to follow that same path, that same tradition at Davis High.
I remember a lot of our teammates had fathers or uncles or even grandfathers who had played here at Davis. And to see that tradition here in the community, in the stands, it brings a lot of meaning to the game, because people care about how Davis does. It's not just your team out there, but rather it's the whole community, and people care if you win or if you lose, and how you play the game. And that's important to them. It's important to play hard and to do your best for those people. It's not just yourselves out there.
When you come out of the tunnel on Friday night and they're playing When the Darts Go Marching In, if the hair doesn't raise on the back of your neck, then you're probably not doing it right. The group this year follows a long line of athletes that have come through that tunnel, and before the tunnel they came in the south end of the bleachers and then along the sideline on the west side to the tune When the Darts Come Marching In. And it's a big deal. It's a huge deal here in Kaysville.
The experience of playing here when you've had so many different other individuals pass through and give everything they have, it makes it more than a football team. I think that because you've had so many generations pass through here and so many guys sweat and bleed for this team, that it's become more of a brotherhood than just a football team. And I think it's one of the coolest things is that you have so many people that have gone through and experienced the same thing as you. You can relate with them because you've put on the same uniform, you've gone through some of the similar experiences. And I think that that's one of the richest traditions here at Davis.
Yeah, it makes it like a family, just being a part of it every Friday night.
You always feel a part of Davis High because it's a big family, big community.
I think of all the thousands of football players who've been on that field, who've been injured, sick, tired, but they keep pushing through and persevering, and it gives me strength to think about all the amazing things those guys did.
And we tell the kids all the time, there's many guys that came before you that wore a Davis High football uniform, and there's many guys that are going to come after you, but right now it's your time and it's your responsibility and really your opportunity to carry on the traditions that will last long after you're gone and have been here long before you came. And so for me as the coach, there is a responsibility, and I feel like my responsibility sometimes is to make sure everyone understands that's associated with our football program how important it is to the Kaysville community, how important it is to the people that have gone before us at Davis High School. And so that really is a motivating factor for us to represent our school, our community, our families in the right way. And obviously that's winning and winning becomes important, but it's a lot more than that as well. Just being able to represent Davis High School and the traditions that it stood for so many years, since 1914, that's a responsibility.
Perspective there. It's more than just winning as a program at Davis High. Winning meant a lot for the program and in the sport, but you gain much more as a human being.
Winning was probably the product of everything else we did as a whole. Trying to be the best person we could be.
There's so many things that being part of the Davis High football program taught me, whether it's hard work, whether it's staying together.
Discipline. I think that was one of the biggest things. Being honest with yourself in times when you knew that you could do more or that you could do a little bit better, you could push yourself more.
Leadership, about being assertive, respect, just playing with a team.
Taught me a lot about just being a close-knit group, being a team first and foremost. It's all about the team over being an individual. Stuff like that, dedication, things of that sort. But mainly the big thing I learned was that never put yourself above the team.
How to be a part of a team. How it wasn't all about me. How even as good as I thought I might have been, I wasn't near as good as I thought I was without the team.
Dedication and hard work, that you left it on the field every day, not just on Friday night, but the only way to get better is to work at it every day. I think it taught me that there's a great tradition in Davis football. And it taught me that a group of young men can be very, very successful, although they may not be very talented, if they work together for a common good.
We actually lost 2 games that season, one to Brighton and one to Fremont. But I think one of the coolest things about our experience is that we didn't get down on each other. We didn't start pointing fingers and blaming. But we had such a strong bond as a family that we just kept playing hard. And I think that's one of the coolest things that I learned here, is that football's not the #1 thing in life. It's really fun and really important, but the relationships that you build, the friendships that you make are going to be more lasting and have a greater impact in your life than just a football game.
My greatest relationships to this day are those men that I spent time on the football field with.
Well, when things get hard, I think about my teammates and who's around me, who's supporting me and helping me through everything. I don't think I'd make it. I know I wouldn't make it on my own without my buddies helping me out, and they're always pushing me harder to succeed, and it makes me stronger as an individual and as a team.
We had a record of 10-1. We were not exceptional athletes. Our biggest player was 200 pounds, and he was our fullback. We happened to be a bunch of guys that grew together, learned to love each other, were committed to a common goal and a common cause, and those are my favorite memories. Some of those kids I still run around with. Some 50 years later, we still see each other and do things together.
I guess one of the biggest things I learned from being on this team was what we said before every game. We're one for all, we're all for one, we're all for Davis High.
Take a lesson from the past. Take a lesson from all those men that have came before you and walked out onto that field. Don't make this season about yourself. Don't make this season about what you can do for yourself, how many touchdowns you can make for yourself, how many plays you can make for yourself. Make it about what you can do for your team. And there's a lot of talented teams out there. There's a lot of talented athletes. But the teams that are remembered, the teams that become legends, the teams that do amazing things, are the teams that forget about themselves and give everything for the team. The teams where nobody cares who's getting the credit. I mean, from the last guy on the bench to the starting quarterback, it's all for one. When you run out onto that field and you hold up your helmets under those lights and you say all for one, one for all for Davis High, I'll be saying it with you. So will all of us. Not just your team, not just my team, but every team that's ever been at Davis High. 'Cause that's what all for one means.
All for one.
All for one.
All for one.
One for all.
One for all.
All for Davis High.
All for Davis High.
All for Davis High.
I hope that people don't pass by the tradition. I hope that the current players remember what's gone on and what's gone through here and live up to those expectations. And it's very hard and it takes a lot of work, but I hope they remember that every time they go out there, they're representing more than just themselves.